Hey there survivors, Casual Peen here. Today I'm just going to do a quick video over the collection book. Whether it's worth it for you to put items into it, spoiler alert, it's not. And what mine's looking like. So currently, I believe I should... Oh, an advertisement. The ultimate armor has arrived. The Vengeance Guard and Vengeance Mask, now available in the credit shop for a limited time only. You're welcome, Neil. Currently, I am sitting at 563 out of 655 collectible items. Now, what this means is, one, I have no life. I am a disgrace to my family, and I've changed my name. No one in my real life knows who I am, and they never will. Two, it costs a metric crap load of money to do this. The amount of wealth, not even wealth, just card swiping you need to do to get a collection book to this level is immense. You would not believe how much it costs to get a collection book up to this level. Because at first glance, you take a look at it, you say, okay, a kukri, a lumberjack, an AS Val, a bar, Peen, these are not big ticket items. How could it cost so much money? And then you take a look at these, the Dawn Mag, the Dawn SMG, the hand shock, all this stuff in here. And it's like, oh my god, this thing can really start getting up there in price. And I'm going to show you what I have left. For someone who's so close to the end, what do you need to complete the book? So let's start with Melee. I'm just going to do a quick little zoom down here. We'll see what all I have in there, and maybe some of y'all can guess already what I don't have just by everything you're seeing so far. And then we're going to get to the bottom. Scalpel, 2 shovels, of course. One that's transferable and one that's not. That was most recently added with the Hardcore Iron Man update. Good update. Good job, guys. Staff team killed it. And here we are. So one is a 130, which as of this moment costs 200 million in the marketplace. Super expensive. Who in their right mind spends 200 million on a weapon that they're not even going to use? Well, soon me. Patriarch Parasite, which is not in the game yet, looks great. Clayton recently put a GIF of this in the DF1 Discord, so we got to see it in action, kind of what it looks like whenever it's idle, and it looks freaking amazing. Frying Pan, Hardcore Iron Man only. There's no way we can attain this in main game yet. Unless if you won Hardcore Iron Man and you have the golden Frying Pan, but that's a different thing. Don Chris, I never crafted it. I thought I did. Did not. Very sad. I'll have to craft it. Super expensive. And then Bloodseeker, which is probably the it's broken. Okay, there we go. Which is probably the least expensive out of all of these besides the Frying Pan. But out of these three, definitely the least expensive. So this is going to be something I get very soon. Pistols. All the way down, past it. Of course, Rhea 55. Used to have one, gave it away. I just never used it. I don't use pistols. Grimoire Larva Pod, which is, of course, like the other weapon, the Patriarch Parasite. Not released yet. Looks awesome. Hornet YJ9. Which is, I've seen videos of it. It looks really good. I love the sound of it. Whenever you added suppressors to the guns in the game, the sound is so good. And of course, the Wyvern RX-8, which is PvP galore. This weapon is insane. I don't know if it's still meta for PvP, but whenever I was using it, it was, and it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Rifles. We have the Pierce Shot 33P, which is 50-50 give and take. Sometimes it's on the marketplace, sometimes it isn't. As y'all know, this is one of the new Death Row weapons that was just released not too long ago, a few months ago, I think. Which, awesome concept. I've been asking for piercing rounds for years. A lot of people have. It's a great concept. It's the more zombies we can kill with the least amount of bullets used, the better, honestly. Rusthound 37E, OG PvP weapon. This was it for the longest time. The Rusthound is great. We all know what it is. We all know what it does. The Nighthawk YJ4, in my opinion, most favorite 130 in the game. by far. My most favorite. Looting with a Nighthawk is incredible. I just don't know how to say it. Vindicator M50. Have not used it yet. I've seen videos of it. The hardest thing to me about getting a Vindicator M50 is knowing I have to sacrifice a Nighthawk to get it. I think maybe some people will agree with me on that, maybe not. But let's move on to shotguns. Shotguns. The Goblin D's, never mind. Bile Spewer, Reacher 730, and the Cyclone X150. So, if anyone was in the DF1 General, not too long ago, a couple months ago, I did a huge giveaway of all of the 135s, including a Cyclone. And I'm not going to say their name in case they don't want to be shouted out in the video. But the people that won the weapons, I'm glad they did. Because the person who won the Cyclone X150 grinded their ass all the way up and are super high level. They're doing great. Really great. Reacher 730, apparently there is talk of a huge knockback bug with this thing. I'm not going to give too many details because it may not be out fully yet, but that's all I'm going to say. All right. Machine guns. What we got? So for machine guns, Spectre SMG9, which I've heard is really fun to use. I've seen a few videos on it on the YouTube, looting videos, and it looks like a lot of fun to use. The Marauder 55, which once again gave this thing away before. I used it extensively. I grinded about 1 billion XP with this for testing reasons. Guys, get this gun. The amount of stats you don't need to run it is insane for the damage it does. The very high critical hit chance on an SMG that shoots like a laser, it is insane. I'll probably make a video on this once I get it added to the collection book. It's so good. So good. The A10 Bull Shark. So when this tier of death row weapons came out, that was in a dark day for ARs. And I think everyone here knows what I'm talking about, some of the older players. ARs did not, they just didn't for the longest time. Those, if you know, you know. And I have yet to use an AR, but out of all of them, I would like to go back to the A10 Bull Shark as well. The Amethyst Raider would be a good throwback as well, but I would like to use this thing again, but I don't have it because I never valued it. The LR32, I've heard this thing is pretty nutty as well. I've got to try this one out, but don't have it. And then the Warhawk X10, which I've heard is also insane. It shoots 12.7mm rifle, which is interesting. Very interesting. But would like to see it in my collection soon. We're going to continue going down here, which, ooh, clean crowd thrower. To the explosives. I don't know anybody with a sawed-off M79. I'm pretty sure it's not even in the game yet. If that's incorrect, let me know. Put a comment, make a comment about it. I would love to know if anyone has one. If you do, and you want to get paid, let me know, and I'll buy it from you. If you do and you don't want to sell it, completely fine. I get it, because I can't find any of these things anywhere. Dreadnought AD. Oh, on paper, this thing looks like it chugs through Zeds, and I love it so much. The 100% chance to stun for 1 second is, I don't even know what to say about it. And then the 100% PvE armor penetration, this is like one of the best side explosives to have whenever you're looting death row. It is so complimentary. Just thinking about it, it feels like it would be a great take for something that's not an LE. Obviously super expensive, very expensive, hard to get. But if you're able to loot it, maybe worth holding on to it just for the utility that you get from it. Scorcher NK19. Okay, if anyone here remembers when Cannibal Andy was released back in the day, the first legendary bandit, I made an account in this game called Cannibal Andy, and he had the same stuff worn, including the Scorcher NK19, and it was the most fun I've had with that gun on an account since, or an alt account. It was the only gun I used on the account. I had 3 Scorcher NK19s equipped on it, and that's the only thing I did to level up. and it was so gimmicky but so much fun because of the stun that it has. Before the 20% chance to stun enemies, before that was added in the game, there was a stun lock feature for certain grenade launchers, and this had that feature. Flesh Eater Hive, not in the game yet. We do not have this in the game yet. Dragon's Maw. Oh my goodness. This thing is so good. So good. So there has been an update on it, a buff, if you will, the 100% elemental penetration that has changed this from being meh, mediocre, to, okay, this thing rivals the best of the best, because it does one thing really well. It is plug and play DPS. And 95% plus optimal DPS of a Wraith Cannon user that's sweating, and all you have to do is just backpedal. You don't have to do crazy circles, you don't do any of that. You just backpedal in Wastelands, you're going to get incredible XP rates. Plus the overkill is super low compared to Wraith Cannon and Sand Scorcher. Alright, implants. What do I have implant-wise that I don't? So as you can see, there's a lot. There are a couple bugged items here, like the Experience Implant. The Experience Implant, there's two versions of these. They were at some point, and then they weren't. Simple as that. X Salvage, I don't have this simply because the cost. It costs around 60 mil. It's horrible. What a nightmare. Dawn Warrior Implant, this cost more than 60 mil. It's horrible. What a nightmare. Same for the Scavenger and the Guardian. I'm using this at all times. This is on at all times. And then the Behemoth Implant I can do soon. I can actually do this right now. I can do this one right now. So these two I'll have done this morning after this video. Apex Implant, of course, a lot of money. That's a hell of an item to just throw in a damn book to sit there and look pretty. Which I do have one, but I'm not going to put it in here until I can make another one. Calamity Implant. You're going to see a whole row of just credit shop implants. Calamity, Trinity, Prowler, Challenger, Obsidian, Feral Heart, of course, Valcrest. Can't Valcrest. So right here, thousands of credits of implants, and it's all just going to be for naught, just for waste. Backpacks. This one is horrible because the bunny backpack is counted. And we all know that for endgame grinders, the bunny backpack is like a saving grace right now in endgame builds. That 5% movement speed is really key in a top build, which let me open link in another tab and I'll show you the implant setup I'm talking about. This exact setup right here without bunny backpack is so much harder in Wastelands grinding. If you're running for CTS or TS, it is so much more difficult without it. So that 5% movement speed is great, but I don't want to put it in my collection book and lose the 5% movement speed for the collection item. So very strange, very, very strange. I don't know how to feel about this one. That's going to be a really hard let go one day. Of course, regular rucksack, the commuter and trekker backpack, the $1 billion bag. One of these was the trekker. No, it was the commuter. No, it was the trekker backpack. The trekker backpack was the $1 billion bag. The first one that got looted was instantly put up for $1 billion. I don't remember if it sold for that much. I hope it didn't, because people are finding more and more blueprints for both of these now. But for a second there, they were horrible. Horribly priced. I'm still waiting on the prices of those to go down before I buy both the blueprint, because I gotta collect the blueprint and the item. So I've got to get two of those. Ammo, of course, all the ammo is super easy. Anyone can do that. 20mm rifle and energy cells, which there is an image for the energy cell if you haven't noticed. Pretty cool. This is supposedly going to be the ammo used for the new Airsight-esque weapons, like the Bile Spewer, Grimworm, Larva Pod, all that stuff. Armors, my most favorite. This is my most favorite section, and y'all can probably guess why. So, some of these have been given buffs lately. Like the Hazard Mesh is now 8% movement speed. When did they do that? The Hazard Reactive. Strength Armor, 3% movement speed. But I have Vital Core Reactive, Exterminator Reactive, and Exile Mesh. That's what I've got left to do. I'm very excited to get all of those. They're super expensive though. Of course, both these are death rail armors, so oh gosh, it's gonna be so much money. I'm not looking forward to it. All right, for clothing, steel case helmet, crown, and gem crown. Of course, these two are looting, and the whole meme is that I don't play the game, so it's going to take me a bit to get these. I've got all the gems to make the gem crown, but I don't have the crown itself, so I need 2 crowns. And steel case helmet. It's just an expensive cosmetic. I don't know what to say. Sorry, guys, I'll let you down. Blueprints. Blueprints for all the 130s and 135s and the backpacks. Nourishment's good, got all the nourishment. Medical's good, got all the medical. Booster good, got all the boost. Miscellaneous. This one's gonna suck, as y'all could guess. Miscellaneous is basically quest items and treasures, which are gonna be rough for me because I don't play the game. But we'll get there. It's gonna take some time. We'll get there. Alrighty, y'all. That's me. Have a good one.